Okay.
All right, you're good to go.
Okay. Welcome to the Durham Board of Selectmen's meeting for Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. Going to go ahead. I just want to, before we get going, Kevin is not going to be joining us today. So as the assistant chair, I'll be running the meeting today. And if people are in from the public, just to let them know, I think maybe one or two people are here from the public. And then I just want to mention to the select board and department heads, it is a Zoom video call. We don't expect you to keep your camera on all the time, but at least when you're talking or we're taking a vote, if you could turn it on, that would be helpful. Makes for a good video record from that standpoint. So with that, we do have a quorum. We have 4 members present. So are there any amendments to the agenda? And I turned my screen off, so I guess hearing nothing, I guess we will move on to public comment. So is there anyone here from the public that would like to address the board? Oh, should we make a motion to adjourn and just call it or what? Okay. The next item on our agenda, the action and discussion items, the PSAP dispatch contract. And Chief, you want to give us a briefing on that and kind of bring us up to speed?
Sure. This is just the annual contract that we signed with the Sheriff's Office to handle our fire and EMS dispatching services. We've been with them since January 1st of 2019. Looking at the last agreement that we signed, it's about a 5% increase from what we signed last year, but we were also told to expect that as both the PSAP fees and the per call fees charged by the Sheriff's Office hadn't been adjusted in about 10 years. So we knew those were going up. It's an increase of, 33 cents on the PSAP fee per call and an increase of 28 cents per call on the fire EMS side. It's still cheaper than what we were paying for dispatch services when I first got here. So, and lower than that possible increase that had been predicted. So there's nothing changed in the language that I've seen, and they've been terrific to work with.
Okay. All right. So Chief, just one question I had on the bill. We're essentially paying ahead. So this is for like next year's service?
That is correct. They know that we function on a calendar year, so they don't expect that payment until the beginning of the year anyway.
Okay. Yeah, because it says due date 9/1/2021 on the invoice that was attached. So I guess we've got some time to pay it.
Yes.
Yeah, is that a budget line item? So that's in the budget already?
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Chief. Does any of the select board members have questions or comments? I know we had a chance to review the contract. All right, it's pretty quiet. I guess I'll make a motion that we approve the PSAP contract as presented and authorize the chief to go ahead and enter that contract.
The chief will sign it.
Yep.
I'll second it.
Okay. Second by Todd. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll do a roll call vote. Rich George, say aye if you, or yes or aye if you approve. Rich?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Todd?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
And I am a yes as well, so that's a 4-0 vote. It's approved. And go ahead and sign that contract and send it in. Thanks, Chief.
Understood.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the budget schedule for 2021. And I can pull it up. Ruth, do you want to just give us a little background on this?
Well, you guys had asked us to come up with a schedule with the thought in mind that we would probably do another referendum for the budget next year. And so taking it back from the Friday before town meeting, which is traditionally when we vote, it means that we would have to have the ballot ready to be printed February 1st. And so we backed that up. Most of I'm going to send out the letters for the committees and the department heads for their budgets the end of this week. The committees, I'm going to ask for their budgets by December 5th, and the other department heads, we're looking at probably about December 18th or so. And then I'll put everything together really quickly and get it out to the board and the budget committee, and then we'll do the combined presentations as quickly as possible at the beginning of January. And then hopefully by the end of January, we're going to have concluded the process with the select board recommendations and the budget committee recommendations.
Okay, Ruth, where does the CIP committee fit into this? Have they already started their reviews?
They actually started last night, and they've set up several different meetings, and I actually have to communicate with Mark the different dates for the meetings. And then they will be finished by Christmas. So
Okay,
we'll include that with everything else.
so that'll be ready to go before we get our initial presentations, so.
Okay.
Okay, and I
Yeah,
don't,
Hey, Ruth, so the CIP committee has started meeting?
Yeah, we did one meeting last night. It was really just same thing that I did with you guys. We went over the spreadsheets and where we were and what was being asked for this year. And then the next meeting, they're going to start talking about the different applications.
Okay, just let me know when I need to be there, I guess.
Yeah, I'll email you everything.
okay, I would say it's, we're probably 95% that it's gonna be a referendum, so I think you're going down the right path, and unless any other selectmen have opinions or thoughts on that, but I don't know if, is there anything magical about April 1st or on the actual referendum date?
Well, town meeting is always the first Saturday in April, and the election for the selectmen and the budget committee is the day before, the Friday before. And I don't know offhand if we actually had put that in the warrant this year, but generally that's pretty set in stone.
Okay,
And obviously,
and April 1st is a Friday.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I say we keep rolling with that schedule for now, and if opportunity comes up or we are able to change it, we'll be ready to go.
Yep.
So, okay. Anybody else have comments, thoughts about the budget schedule? Okay. I like these meetings. So the next step is the municipal election results, and I'm going to apologize. I don't actually have that pulled up on my screen, but we can give a quick summary. All of the marijuana ordinances failed, and all the other questions passed, which included the town manager question, the changes to the Historic District Commission. And was there something else on there? Oh, the ordinance changes as well. That'll align us with the state. So, so next steps, I would say the Historic District Commission item takes care of itself. The marijuana ordinances, doesn't look like there's much for us to do with that at this point. And the town manager question is going to be the big one, I guess. Oh, the ordinance stuff. So what will happen with that, Ruth? Will the planning board take that on and push that through, or?
Well, so I've been in contact with George, and according to him, The old land use ordinance is in effect until the state approves the changes to the shoreland zoning. And so he's sent that up to the state, I know already, and is waiting to hear from them. And once he gets the approval, then we would put the new one on the website.
Okay. So any questions regarding that, or are we ready to just skip right into the town manager discussion? Okay.
Hold on. But
Yeah.
what do we do about the marijuana ordinances? Do we need to specify in our ordinances that they're not allowed?
No. So,
No?
so Todd, the law, the state law is an opt-in.
Yep.
law.
Yeah.
So we
I
did not
understand.
opt in, and because there's no opt-in vote, then it's not legal in Durham.
Without even having anything written to that effect?
Nope, we don't need anything.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty decisive vote, I think. You got a lot of people voting, and it was pretty good size margin.
Yeah. Actually, Ruth, do you remember, or maybe Becky's on here, what the voter turnout was? She says it's something like 80%.
Yeah, I'm gonna let, Becky, are you there?
I'm here. I have my video on. Do you want my video on?
You don't mind while you're speaking, but
I gotta
we're not going to fire anyone over it.
All right. Well, I turned it on, but I don't see it doing anything.
There you go.
I'm sitting too low. So we had 2,822 voters show up between absentee and the polling. Just over 1,000 came on polling day. The other 18, it was 1,801 on absentee. So it was close to 80% of our registered voter list that voted. It was pretty good. Yeah, it was a big turnout.
Oh,
Fantastic.
that's very good.
Rich, were you raising your hand a minute ago, or?
No, I'm all set, thank you.
Okay. All right. So the big one was the town manager question, and that was approved. I don't remember the final numbers, but I think it was a couple hundred votes that it passed by. So we need to move forward with that. And Kevin had done a very nice presentation leading up to this in a couple of public hearings. We discussed what the schedule would be and things that would change and wouldn't change. And the intent is to actually spend the next few months doing our candidate search and deciding what aspects we were looking for in a town manager. And then we hope to bring that person on effective after town meeting, which would be that first week of April. So Kevin and I have been in touch with David Barrett from MMA. He's kind of the consultant that has been helping us along this process. And we're going to use him to help us with the hiring, as we had previously discussed. So he will be joining us at the December 8th meeting. And yeah, why the December 8th meeting? Hold on a second. And so what I told him I would do is I would update the board and let you all know that if there's anything specific that you're looking for, or if there's questions that you're going to have for him at that time, we should be prepared at December 8th. We can certainly discuss things tonight, but we don't have Kevin here, and it's not a huge hurry. And my recommendation is that we wait and have things ready for when David can join us. Any thoughts or comments, or anybody want to share on that? Or
No, I would second that. I'd agree.
okay. Yeah, and it was part of that. We'll have to decide like what we want to do for a committee and how we want to weed out applicants and so forth. And that'll all take place at that December 8th meeting. So, because I know there has been some interest from the town and the public at large as well. So, okay. Well, that's fair enough. If I don't see any other comments or objections, I guess we'll move on to department and committee reports. And sorry, Chief, but Calvin's first on tonight's. So go ahead, Calvin. We all got your report this afternoon, so but give us the cliff notes here.
So, yep, we've completed ditching Evergreen Lane, moved out of there. We've moved the equipment over to Beaver Woods Road, started marking out property pins, and oddly enough, property pins are all right smack in the center of the ditch line. So it appears it was ditched and then the pins were put in afterwards. So we're going to be working from mid ditch toward it's got like 5 or 6 foot shoulders. So we're going to be just moving the ditch closer to the road, and any culverts that get replaced we'll be putting in the right of way where they belong for future maintenance. We've been paving driveway aprons. I think we pretty much finished those up today. We worked on the voting, setting up, taking down of the voting equipment. I think we're pretty much done with cleaning up leaves and acorns. Hopefully that's all set. Crooker paved Deervale and Rangdale today. Was working on Rangdale today, so that finishes up our annual paving for the season, maintenance paving. So the winter sand bids went out and came in with just 2 bidders, Scott Dugas Excavation and Country Fair from Excavation from Bodenham. Country Fair was $10, Dugas $8. And that's what he told me he was going to be earlier this summer. That's why we went back to bid. So if the board is all set with that, I'd like to haul that this coming week.
Calvin, was that a 1-year contract price with them?
It is. Yep.
Okay. Because I'd hate to, I mean, I understand materials are going to go up, but I'd almost rather if he's going to raise his price, maybe he'd lock us in for a year or 2 and that would offset it.
Yeah, I can ask him, see what he says.
Okay.
If we change the context of that in terms of how we put it out to bid, do we have to re-put it back out?
Well, not if he volunteers to give us that price for the next 2 years. I mean, this year's would be the same, but I guess that would change the context of the bid. But
I mean, somebody, in theory, if they thought they were going to get 2 years and maybe more yardage, they might come in lower. That's the only reason why I'm asking.
Yeah,
I mean, we didn't have a lot of people participate in this bid. So.
Well, for 1,000 yards isn't a very big order. So a
No.
lot of towns are getting 5,000-6,000 yards. So
All right. Well, maybe.
I don't care either way, as long as it's legal.
Yep.
I mean, if we can do that legally, I'm fine with it, but I just want to make sure we don't have to, maybe Ruth or Rob, are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, legally it's fine. I mean, the only issue would be if somebody, another prospective bidder might have an issue with it, but generally those types of changes are made after the contract, no problem. I mean, we negotiate terms with Casella, same kind of deal once we've got some base prices. So, and where nobody else bid it, I think we're fine. It's Country Fair, but they were way high. So, I mean, it's worth asking, but I don't have any problem with just signing the 1-year contract and moving on either. So,
okay,
as a matter of fact, I'd make that as a motion that we approve the contract for Dugas and authorize Calvin to sign it.
I'll second
At the 1 year or the 2 year, or both?
Well, the existing is 1 year. I mean, he can ask about it and let us know if he's willing to do that, and we can come back. But for now, I'd say we just approve the 1 year. Todd, was that a second?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion on that? Okay, I'll call for a roll call vote. Todd?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Thank you. Rich?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well, so it's 4-0, motion passes. Thanks, everybody. All right, Calvin, you had one more thing on there?
So our Wheeler, I know I told you it went to Viking Surveys before. It was returned to Freightliner because the air tanks were not in the right place, and there were some switches that weren't in the right place. So Viking sent it back to Freightliner. So now it's back there, and we should have it by mid-December. So That's, I hope so. We
Yes,
need it
indeed.
there. And that's all I got.
Okay, thanks, Calvin. Chief, you're up, buddy.
All right. Despite the fact that I've really been pretty swamped in the last week, I was able to get my report out on Friday. Was everybody able to go through that?
Yes, and
Yeah.
thank you.
I apologize. It was 2 pages, Rob, this time.
I know, I saw, actually, it comes up as 3 on the Google thing.
So once again, we continue to monitor the COVID-19 situation. We're all a little disappointed that the cases seem to be ticking up again right now. So we're taking as many precautions here as we can, and we're just keeping an eye on it. The grant opportunities that I spoke about. I'm sorry. Oh, you put. Thank you. So the 2 grant opportunities that I brought up in my last report, those were the specifics on those, and I was just looking for approval to go ahead and pursue those.
Yeah, so the question I have is, if we approve going ahead with it, are you 100% you have to take it if you get it?
No.
Okay, all right.
So if it turned out that we didn't have just came down to we didn't have the matching funds and we couldn't afford to do it, then we don't have to accept it.
Okay, because that'll obviously be contingent on the budget process, but
Understood.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense if we can get 50-50 grants for, I don't know why we wouldn't go after it. So the first one, the Forestry Service Grant, 50-50 matching, and you're requesting $1,500. So that one's fairly minimal anyway. So the town would put up $1,500 as well for a total of
Correct.
$3,000. Okay.
Yes.
And then the second grant is a FEMA grant for the PPE during the pandemic. It's only 5% matching, so the chief is requesting $8,000. So we only have to do $400. Okay, yeah, there it is. Says that. So it's not a huge financial commitment, but it's it's an opportunity to get almost $10,000 in grants. Does
And
anyone?
the biggest reason for asking for that is we've gone significantly over our EMS budget this year simply because of the PPE we had to purchase. So the grant is intended for it. So this will recoup that cost for us as well as prep us at least moving the next 2 years ahead.
So is the 400 in matching, is that all stuff that we've already spent, or will we
No.
need to buy another 400?
Correct.
Okay. And it'll replenish the stocks that are depleted. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve the grants or the grant applications? Okay. Rich makes a motion to approve the grant applications.
Second.
Todd seconds it. Okay. Any other questions or comments from the board? Or okay, we'll go ahead and call for a vote. Please say aye or yes if you approve. Rich,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well. And thanks for pursuing that, Chief, and bringing it to us. So hopefully it works out.
So continuing to move forward, we're staying busy. I've been working on the budget. I didn't have it completed by the end of this week as I had hoped, to just have other things that we're dealing with. Staffing and training, we have some new members coming on board, and the Tri-County Fire Training Program, which actually originated between Durham, I believe Durham and Lisbon, has become a larger training entity. But with the whole COVID response issue, they were kind of left out in the cold to complete the class. So they reached out. I've worked with them to get their classes completed for this year, which we have 2 members in. They'll be graduating shortly. And spoke with them about hosting the class here next year. One, because it will make it easier for several more of our members to attend, and 2, by hosting it, we'll get a free $850 spot in the program. So I'm working on that agreement with them, but I think that will benefit the town certainly, and departments in the area. Truck 24 will go out of service to have that door repaired. It's in service right now, but it will be out for a couple of days as that door gets repaired that was damaged last month. Discussion topics. These aren't things that I need decisions on tonight, but I needed to bring it to the board so we could discuss it. One, what to do with the budget surplus this year and looking forward at some of our expenses, replacing equipment, specifically the breathing air apparatus. If you read through that, do you have any questions on that? Like I said, I don't need a decision right now. I'm sure this is something Kevin would want to review and weigh in on as well. So just if we are going to have a surplus this year, which like I said, 4 months of no training, no meetings, and for safety reasons, specifically limiting members being on certain calls, it will leave us with a surplus this year. So in trying to be proactive about how to replace 20 air packs in the next 2 years, this was a thought that had come to mind, and I wonder what the board thought of it.
I have one question, Chief, in that we've had to put off these trainings and so forth, but are we going to be required to make those up? So
No.
we have to double up in the future. Okay. All right.
No, it's not really like that. We train as much as we have the opportunity to train, but the risk with the pandemic situation just made it untenable. So no, it's not going to be hours we have to make up next year or anything like that we need that money for.
Okay. All right. That's good. Just make sure we're not selling ourselves short. And
Understood.
yeah.
I just, with respect to the surplus, I didn't see any numbers in regards to the surplus, but a couple moments earlier you had mentioned that your EMS line is going to be significantly over.
So I apologize. Wording. I say significantly. We budgeted $8,000 for EMS supplies and equipment over the year, and we've just crested over 10 right now. I don't. Yeah. So I mean, percentage-wise, it was a 25% overage, but we have a good stock right now, and there's nothing coming in the next 8 weeks that I see really blowing up for us. But that's why I also said I'd rather wait till to the end to make this choice.
Okay, but year to date, do you have a rough idea of, you just give me like a percentage of total budget where you think your surplus, do you have an idea what that number is going to be?
I don't percentage wise. I'm gonna say 15.
Let's go with
15 to 20
or 15,000, 20% of your budget.
No, 15 to 20,000.
Okay.
Not 20% of the budget. No, sorry, I was trying to.
So that's, yeah, you're recommending taking that 15 to 20 and buying tanks with it.
Well,
So
this is the other piece that comes in with that. We don't. Sorry, you say tanks, and I'm getting into maybe.
SCBAs.
So we over the last 2 years, we purchased all new of the actual cylinders because those had all met their end DOT expiration. So we don't have to replace those. So we're getting the packs cheaper because we're purchasing just the breathing apparatus and the mask. We already have the tanks. So.
Okay. All right. But it's in the 15 to 20 range, what you're talking dollar-wise.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, let me clarify. What are you asking? That 15 to 20? That's what I think the surplus will be.
And is that total amount is what you're considering what you want us to consider is to spend that whole?
Whatever the surplus. I'd love to buy up to 5 packs, which would be 29. I don't think we'll get there, but anything that we can do to start this process to decrease either taxation raised next year or digging into capital any further. This is money that we've already brought in. That was my idea behind it.
Okay.
And does that have to, Rob, or even Mark, you might even know, but when you have a surplus like that on monies and you're buying a piece of equipment, can we just bypass the CIP process now? I know in the past we could do this, but.
Yeah, the CIP process is a recommendation process. The question would be, would it meet town meeting requirements? And then I believe that it would, because there's a question on town meeting, and Ruth or Becky might be able to correct me, but as long as we're not going over our expended budget, we are allowed to do that. The only question would be, if we don't spend it, it rolls over into essentially the capital fund, and we could spend it next year. So, so I'm in favor either way. I think that money should stay in the department, and we should buy the SCBA gear, whether we do it now or whether we roll it over and bring it forward. But I think we'll look. We got another month or so, Chief.
Yeah, well, like I said, this isn't a decision that needs to be made before we actually know what the surplus looks like.
Sure.
And so.
So it's actually, is this capital funds that we're talking about, or is it just budget?
No,
fund?
the surplus would be operational budget.
Yeah.
For this year.
I know it's kind of confusing because it's a capital purchase and it's
Right.
something that depreciates, but we're going to use operational funds to pay for it.
Right.
If-
And which is why I figured I would bring it now and let the discussion happen, and rather than try to throw it out at the end of December.
Okay. So we can mull it over for a meeting or two, and then
Oh,
we'll
absolutely.
have a plan.
Chief, what do you need for a turnaround on that? Like, for example, to get it in and to get it in time for your budget?
Probably the 21st of December.
That's drop
But
that date.
I mean, the other issue is everything is slowed down right now. So I can reach out to the manufacturers and confirm that. But we still probably, if we ordered it the end of December, we probably wouldn't get it until probably the end of January. Everything is slowed down right now. I mean, it's across the board. It's a little frustrating at points, and trying to guess ahead of what we might need so we're not caught with something that we can't get for 6 weeks.
Yeah,
So,
understood.
but with the pack, like I said, with the packs right now, the ones that we have are still serviceable. This is just starting that replacement process that we've been gunning for the larger grant for the last several years, and it's just not coming to be. So we have to put a different plan in play.
Okay.
All right.
So we meet on December 22nd. Is that?
I'm sure that would be fine. I'll still do some background work and keep the board up to date with what that looks like. But
Yeah. Yeah, we could still act on it on the 8th as well. So.
Right. Okay. The only other two pieces on that discussion topics were just giving you the heads up about the paid leave requirement that I heard about this past week. I haven't had a chance to really read a lot of the information that I've gotten about it, but it appears that it does impact part-time and potentially per diem and call employees. I hadn't heard anything about it prior to this past week, but apparently it's state law that's going into effect as of January 1. So I'm really scrambling to try to get my head around what this looks like, and I'll have more information at the next board meeting.
Okay. Is that part of the COVID relief package? Is that what that is? Or?
I don't think that it is. I don't believe that it is. Rich, do you know with your businesses, have you heard any more about this?
I do.
Anything
It
about this?
definitely, from what I know of, and again, this thing's, it's been around there for a while. It's been in talks for a while. It definitely will affect your part-time people. I'm not sure how it would affect those stipend individuals.
Right.
But
Okay.
yeah, it's one of those things that I would have probably ask Ruth to start doing some digging on, because it'll affect the town in totality, not just the fire department.
Right. From what I understood, it was sort of in regards to how many employees or the types of employees that impacted, the wording of the law was sort of cart before the horse, where it was a great idea, but then the wording, depending on how the Department of Labor is going to interpret it, will depend on exactly what types of part-time, per diem, call type employees are affected. So I really said I'm scrambling to try to get a handle on this.
And there's a piece to it too, that the employee has to contribute,
Right.
which would offset some of your budget concerns. Because it's not a total expense to the employer. Some of the money is actually coming from the employee.
Okay.
The way I understood it, but again, those things, I wait for everything to be compiled, and then somebody has 2 or 3 seminars about it, and I chime in and pick up one of those before I totally understand it, to be honest with you, because
Right. And
there's a
like I
lot
said,
of
this
jargon
was-
in there that's tough.
and this was the first I'd heard of it. So I'm glad I heard about it now rather than 3 weeks from now when I feel like I had a budget done and it just gets blown up.
Yeah.
So, and then curious if the rest of the board had had a chance to look at the updated RFP. I hadn't been able to send it out before, so curious on their thoughts with that. That's not something that needs to happen tomorrow either, so I can wait for the next meeting to discuss that.
Yeah, I mean, I read through it. I don't have much to add or comments. I thought it looked good, but I don't know if anybody else had comments or concerns or.
I don't have any comments or concerns. I think it outlines pretty clearly exactly what you're looking for. So again, refresh me, because this year is being so different from this RFP would have to go before, or has it already gone actually to the CIP committee?
This went to the CIP committee last year. This was one of my projects, and their recommendation, from what I understood, their recommendation was it wasn't put as a high priority, simply because it's just something they felt that we should be doing. But that information didn't really come to me until after the budget was completed and we'd moved forward for this year. So just trying to get a handle on where the board would like me to go from here with it.
What's the timeline on this, Chief? Get it out this year, so you have numbers for budgeting next year, or?
We can certainly do that. I mean, that, like I said, I'm sort of at the will of the board for what you'd like to do with this at this point.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I know Kevin on the last meeting had some questions and concerns and wanted you to redo some stuff. So before
Which are the two highlighted pieces. So
I see
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I just would want to make sure I have no issue with it, and I didn't have any issue with it in the beginning. So just make sure he's content with it, and then run with it however you feel free. I mean, I don't know.
all right, I'll wait for the next meeting, then we can go from there if you'd like.
Yeah, I think that would be great, simply only because he did comment on it on the last meeting.
Yep, certainly.
Yeah, the only thing I would note, Chief, is at the end, usually there's, and I'm just looking at it and see if it's in there, but just a comment that says the town may reject any and all RFPs, like, so that we're not, numbers come back ridiculously high or something, we're not committing ourselves to it. You know,
Okay,
there's no harm in getting the numbers.
all right, I'll work with Ruth and we'll get that in there.
So,
And I'll forward that final draft with my next report for the next meeting.
okay, Rich, something else?
Yeah, one last question, Chief. I just wanted to, was over there, I don't know how long it's been now, but you were still dealing with some issues with the backyard. Has that been resolved?
All that's been taken care of. Public Works has handled that entire project.
Fantastic. Thanks for the update.
Yeah, and Chief and Calvin and Ruth, while you're still on, I just want to say that, my phone hasn't rung at all in probably 2 months. So whatever you guys are doing, you're doing a fantastic job. And, I really appreciate it. It's been a tough year for everybody, but I think the public has been very understanding as well. And all things considered, I think things are going really well, and I appreciate it. So before you signed off, I wanted to let you know.
Thank you.
Hey, Rob,
Yeah.
is Chief done? Are you done, Chief?
Yeah, why? Did you have something else?
I forgot, something I forgot to mention, unless you want to finish with the chief first, if I could just run this other grant application by you. You want,
I am all done. Thank you. Unless there were any other questions.
So I forgot, I meant to put this on the, report. The stream crossing grants, DEP stream crossing grant, is available again for, like we did on the Auburn Pownell Road stream crossing.
Yep.
I didn't realize the deadline was this coming Monday. I was thinking it was this spring sometime. It seemed like last time it was in the winter. So it's the $95,000 non-matching grant. So I had one on Swamp Road and the Swamp Road, and I don't know if Chief was still here, but Swamp Road floods, every flood event, flooded last December. We always have to shut the road down. And a part of that is because the culverts are undersized on the road right there. And the culverts are perched about a foot out of the water. So the stream, fish passage is completely blocked. So it would, I think, be a very good candidate for the grant. There's that one, and one on Quaker Meeting House Road. The pipes are a foot or two above the water, and it's the way they were installed. And there's some talk that DEP eventually is going to start making the towns fix those at their cost to get them in compliance. And so there's two there that I have some boilerplate application stuff that I could fire off and send in. There would be no commitment if we decided not to go forward with it. Just wanted to see what the board thought about.
You don't think you can do both for 95,000 though?
Well, they're 95,000 a piece.
So you're going to submit for both?
Well, I can do both, or I could do just the one on. I'd like to submit to both. I mean, there's nothing that says we have to do both if we decide we only have them.
It's zero out of pocket for the town if it's approved, and there's no harm in applying for both. From my understanding, there's actually no financial commitment and no downside to these grants. So
the last time we did two on Auburn Powell Road, I think we ended up kicking in 100 and they paid 200 or 190.
That's because it.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a chance that either one of these could be more than $95,000 to correct?
Yeah. And before we accepted the bid, we would have the design and we would know what that was going to be.
So we don't know that number yet.
We don't know. We don't know that till it goes.
And we can accept the money and give it back if we don't fulfill. We're not under no obligation, right?
I don't know about accepting the money, but we could just.
So
we could not accept the money.
If we just don't accept the money, we don't have to go forward with the grant if we're approved, correct?
That's my understanding. I'll confirm that for sure tomorrow, or Thursday.
That's the only thing I'd want clarification on. As long as we don't have, if we are approved, we don't have to go forward. Because I don't know what that, unless you do, I don't know what that's going to cost. And if it's going to be like the Auburn Pownell Road where we're kicking in 100+ grand.
We ended up kicking.
That could probably.
We ended up kicking in like 50 a piece on those. Wasn't it like 100,000, Ruth? We
appropriated $100,000. We did not spend $100,000. I think it was closer to $50,000 is what we ended up spending of the town's money.
Right.
And we got 95,000 for each of those culverts.
Yeah, and Rich, to answer your question, yeah, there is no commitment. What they do is they'll make the award, and then at that time we'll have to decide whether to accept the money or not. And then if we don't, they push it to the next town that wasn't awarded it.
So by that rationale, what do we owe at the minimum? A couple $1,000s for maybe an engineering design that we would have to get before we could actually even
just the
this bid.
Application fee.
Application fee, or we wouldn't have to have a design fee before we would know the cost?
Well, before you knew the cost, yeah, but I mean, you wouldn't have to get into complete design. We could
ballpark it.
Yeah, we could ballpark it.
So we're looking at a couple thousand in consulting expenses, but we probably ought to do that anyway at some point. So,
I think they're both candidates where DEP is going to step in and make us fix them eventually. And the one on Swamp Road is, as Chief probably knows, it's completely blocked on every flooding event. The road gets closed off. So, just because the two pipes are just not big enough, and they're not actually even in the water. So.
Yeah.
okay.
So
well,
to apply.
Yeah, I think you do need, the way it works, so you do need approval to go ahead and apply, right? I believe so. But, so I would move that we authorize Calvin to apply for DEP culvert grant funds for both Swamp Road and Quaker Meeting House Road.
I'll second.
Okay, Mark seconds. Any further discussion on it? Okay, we'll do the roll call. How about you, Todd?
Yes.
Rich?
Sure, yes.
Mark?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. So yeah, go ahead and see if you can pull that off by Monday, buddy.
Oh, yeah, we'll get it done.
Yeah, Rich?
One last question for Calvin. Calvin, prior to the meeting, you had asked if we had somebody wanted some fill. Is that a discussion that you needed for us, or are you all set on that?
Oh, yeah, actually, the land on Swamp Road that I'm not sure the organization, is it the Athletic Fields property?
Yeah, the Durham Little League Association or something of that.
Durham Youth
Little
Baseball.
League. Yeah.
Well, they had asked for some fill a while back, and I don't know if they had brought it up in a meeting with you guys or when that had come up, but I said I would let them know when we might be able to have some to put there. And so I called them this morning to tell them that I could put some fill there on the property that they could use later whenever they did their development or whatever. But and he had called Ruth back and wants to know if, what was his question exactly, Ruth?
Well, he just wanted to know if we thought that there was any issue with that.
And I'm assuming he meant with the board, right?
With the board, yeah.
So I guess maybe his thought is that maybe he's thinking that the board might take issue with them starting a project without authorization. So I guess if the board has no concerns or
I don't know exactly what they're trying to fill. I mean, I do know that they've gone through planning board a couple times. There are some wetland areas over there that the planning board has had problems, not problems with, but I've identified, excuse me. So I don't know what their extent is. I don't even know if we've ever even gotten that lease back. Have we, Ruth? Do we have an executed lease? No, we
No.
do not. So I'm not really inclined to authorize anything left with that property until we have a clear understanding of what they're doing over there.
I don't think that's been stumped, is it?
No.
You're gonna put
No.
backfill into all the stumps?
No, we
Yeah,
would just,
that's what it sounds.
we would just put it in a pile where it was high and dry, and we wouldn't
Mm.
put it in any wetlands. But and if they use it, I mean, it would just grow over with grass and vegetate itself. But
Well, I don't think you guys would do that. My concern is you put a bunch of fill out there and somebody comes in with a bulldozer and just starts moving it. I don't think you guys are going to be the ones spreading it. I would assume you're just dropping it off.
we would just drop it. Yeah.
Right.
Calvin, where's the fill coming from?
We're gonna be taking it from Beaver Woods Road next week.
So we're ditching on Beaver Woods.
Yep.
So it would help us from the standpoint of it's a quick place to dump the fill.
It's right down the road. Yeah.
And it's town-owned property.
Yeah. I mean, it would help us out for sure. Yeah.
So it's town property and town fill, so there's nothing that says we can't dump fill on our own property.
No, there's nothing that says that, but that road is already probably 4 feet above the grade of what they're going to be going down to make that a ball field. So why would you put more fill over there?
They must have thought they were going to need it. They did ask me for it, so I'm thinking they must have thought they were going to need it.
They might need it when they blast all that rubble out of there if they ever get to that point. But I mean, I have no problem with you dumping fill without asking us any question on any town land, as long as you see it feasible. It's just that particular project, because there's been such a delay and such you know, like I said, this has been going on for years. We don't even have a signed lease with that organization for that project, nor do we have a clear understanding of what's going to transpire on that property yet.
Yeah. So I guess, does the board have an issue with us dumping some fill there if we don't put it in the wetlands? And
The concern, I think, might be that it might end up in the wetlands, but I would take issue, but the rest of the board can certainly chime in.
Yeah, I mean, you got to dispose of the fill wherever you see best fit for the town, and so I guess it doesn't matter to me either way.
Yeah, it's same town property. Want to dispose of there to do it.
Yep, as long as you don't have to run over stumps to get there.
no, we won't do that.
Okay, you all set now, Calvin?
Yep.
All right, we'll move on to the town administrator report. Ruth?
Yeah, there's not that much that I have this week because all of my time has been stuck with the election. Well, not stuck, has been
There
working.
was an election?
Yeah, there was an election. Do you guys remember that one? Yeah, well,
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, 1 week ago.
Seems like a month ago.
It does, it seems
There's
like
still-
forever. Yeah, we're taking a deep
Well,
breath.
it could be still election nights. I think they're still counting ballots. It could still be election night. I don't know.
Well, not in Maine.
Not me. You don't know that, Bill.
We're not still counting ballots in Maine. Trust me. We're not. Trust me.
We're not in the town of Durham anyways. Good.
So in any case, there were just two things. The one thing is that I wanted to commend Becky, our new town clerk, and all of the people who helped us with elections. It went really well this year. It kind of was a little disappointing because we were prepared for just about anything, and it was pretty quiet most of the day, even though we had 1,000 people come in person to vote. It was pretty spread out, and we were able to get most of the people in fairly quickly. The only time we had any significant line was in the morning from about 6:30 to about 8:30. And after that, it went really well. Well, it went well when we had the line too, but in any case. And then I had meant to put a new.
Even when people were in line, Ruth,
What?
even when people in line, you got any idea how long they were waiting? I mean, it was moving, right?
It was moving pretty quickly. You know, I really don't know how long people were waiting.
Okay.
But we did
It was
move
fine.
ahead.
It's not that important. I was just,
The biggest issue, frankly, was the number of people that we could have in the gym. So you could only have 50 people in the gym when with the workers and the number of booths that we could set up. It kind of kept us a little low on the number there for a while. And then the only other thing is that, and I didn't do this, but I meant to. I was thinking I should add to the agenda a line that says selectmen requests. And basically that's for you guys to tell me at the end of the meeting any items that you would like researched or any items you would like on the next agenda, so that, you know, things that you guys want to talk about get up on the agenda.
yeah, I couldn't hurt to have it on there. I mean, I think for the most part, you know, we don't communicate outside of meetings because we're not allowed to, but there's nothing that says we can't just email you at any time and CC the other board and say, I'd like to put this on the agenda too. So I think we should encourage all board members to do that anytime, but it doesn't hurt to add it to the agenda as well. So, and everyone should be thinking of that. So,
Anybody have any thoughts for the
okay.
That's for the what?
next agenda? 2 weeks. No? Okay.
If you need fill-ins, I mean, you could ask the baseball folks to come in and explain to us, as they do annually every year, what they're going to do over there.
On that note,
Yeah.
Exactly.
anybody have any questions?
Nope. All right. Thanks, Ruth. Okay, we're actually moving along pretty good. I'll move on to the consent agenda, which has the minutes for October 27th, which Kathy sent those out earlier this week, and the warrants. Are there any questions or comments, or would someone like to make a motion on the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda as written.
Okay, and I'll second that motion. Is there any comments from the board? Okay, we'll call for a vote. Mark,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well. So that is a 4-0 unanimous approval. With regards to selectmen's comments, our next selectmen's meeting is Tuesday, November 24th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. that will be a Zoom meeting. And the way things are going in the state right now, it'll probably be Zoom meetings for the foreseeable future. And Tuesday, December 8th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. And we will be joined by David from MMA on that meeting to discuss the town manager, the next steps. With that, I'll just quickly ask any other comments, questions, concerns.
Yeah, I'd just like to say what a fine job the assistant chair did tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Excellent. Good job.
You know, Mark, if you hadn't said that, I could have kept us under an hour.
Good
We
job.
still got a minute.
Yeah, I think we're gonna make it. Yeah, thank you. Okay, well, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Rich makes the motion.
Second.
Todd would second that. All in favor, we can just raise our hands on this one. All right, sounds good. It's unanimous. And I'd like to say thank you to our town staff and Becky and Tammy for helping with the recording, and great job, everyone. Thanks. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Take care, everyone. Be safe. Night.